Go.
I am so tired of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
Good morning, jerks. How is everybody this morning? Happy Tuesday. Coming up on the show today. Welcome back, Mock. First of all.
Thanks.
Welcome back. Glad to have you back. It was always fun talking to Chad, but you know, I'm glad to have you back.
Not this.
Back to normal, right? Coming up on the show today, more Zelensky Trump fallout, plus JD Vance, Jadarius Vance offers his perspective. We have a SOTU preview. That is tonight, you guys.
Oh my God, I'm so tired already.
What time is that tonight? 9
p.m.
9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. We have an Epstein file update and then also a tariff update. All that and so much more coming up on the show today. You guys, make sure that you check out all the things. Chicks. It's chicksontheright.com/links. Do it. That's where you can find everything of ours. Plus, please click subscribe to this podcast if you haven't already. We implore you to do so and share it with your friends. That is all I have right now. That's it. That's all I've got.
Quick update on fire, because people I know have been very sweet to reach out and be like, oh my God, are you okay? Because you're in South Carolina now and there's fires. There are fires indeed in South Carolina. But to me, they feel like it's a whole other state because they are way up the coast, like 3.5 hours north of me. So I appreciate everybody's concern, but they are not impacting me currently. I know that there's like 2,000 acres around the Myrtle Beach area that have been impacted, but thankfully no buildings and no lives have been lost to the fires. They're about 30% contained right now. There's other fires that are in Polk County, North Carolina, which is about an hour and a half from my boy. So he also is not currently impacted by fires. And then in central Georgia, there's like 6,000 acres that are impacted by fires. So it's dry right now. We could use some rain. So we're waiting for rain to come. I think there's some on the way tonight and tomorrow, which should help things a lot. But yeah, somebody's asking about air quality. I mean, it's clear as day here. It's fine here. I feel bad for, people north of us where it's not fine. But I was telling Daisy in pre-show, I was like, it's kind of, I can give you an update, but it's kind of like reporting an update from any other state that I'm not in, because I don't feel impacted about it by it at all, at least not yet. I mean, I don't want to be, but
like reporting on the LA fires,
Yeah, exactly. It just seems like a whole other place because it kind of is. So
it's all very weird though, Mock. I know
it's weird, but we did get warning. So I will say, because I get a routine email from the South Carolina DNR office about weather. So they're the ones that have really great updates about like when hurricanes are coming. They have all the stuff and they go into great detail about what's going on weather-wise. And days ago, there was a warning from them saying it's going to be super dry and we need to be on high alert for fires because like the slightest spark could set off a huge fire. And so, when the weather is conducive to that, it's not always suspicious. It's just legit super, super ass dry.
Yeah, I hear you. I sometimes my tinfoil hat just gets really stimulated. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, and that's probably why you have so much ReadyWise on hand.
I do. It's true. God, I missed your transitions, your segues. I can't do them, you guys. I just can't. There's nobody that does them like Mock.
Well, but because you always give me the perfect opening, it's very much a team thing, the way that we do our sponsorship shout outs. But it's true. Like the more that you get your tinfoil hat tight, the more you kind of screw that on.
Oh, I've got
the more
permanent
preppy,
one. Right.
The more prepper minded you become. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. So don't just kind of sit on your laurels thinking, oh, we got the House and the Senate and the White House. You don't know how quickly things can change and how quickly.
Don't sit on those laurels. Don't sit on them.
Sit on them.
It's uncomfortable. They're
not comfortable.
They're sharp, uncomfortable. Don't do that.
Be prepared, especially from an emergency food standpoint. And why, if you're going to have emergency food on hand, which by the way lasts 25 years, why not have really yummy tasting food on hand? That's what you get from ReadyWise.com. And when you use code CHICKS10, you will get 10% off of your entire purchase. They've got the self-heating meal kits. They've got regular meal kits. They've got yummy soup, dried fruits and veggies. They've got it all. And they also have like supplies that you might need for camping or boating or things like that. It's not just emergencies. So check it out, ReadyWise.com. Use code CHICKS10, CHICKS10 to get that discount. All right. Some quick headlines because there's still so much to get to. I know you and Chad, you had a big show yesterday dealing with all of the weekend's events.
We just did a good, what I thought was a thorough run through of the Zelensky Trump melee. We tried to get through that, but there's still so much fallout, you know?
So much fallout so much still happening. So we've got lots to talk about. I know. And because when I saw it all happening on Friday, I was like, well, damn it. I picked the worst day to be off because this would have been the funnest thing to talk about.
Right. I know.
But there's still lots to talk about. So, of course, we will get into all of that in just a bit. But there's other things going on, too, and some more, not as big newsy items, but still things worth covering. Like, for example, the passing of Dolly Parton's husband.
This was so sad.
I know. And they'd been married 60 years, you guys.
My gosh, you guys. And he was so private.
So private.
You never saw anything about him. And I kind of love that. I love that he was private and that he loved her and they were together forever. And it's just so sad that
it is really, really sad. So Carl Dean, rest in peace. That is very, very sad. And then also in other sad news, before Amy Jo and I had a podcast, before we were on radio, before any of that, we used to do just once in a blue moon, ridiculous videos from my house when the only equipment we had was like a beat up laptop and like the built-in webcam. And we had no idea what we were doing. It's amazing that we were able to record videos at all. But one of the very first interviews that we ever did was with Mia Love, who ended up being a representative from the state of Utah. And I had no idea that she was ill, but she's in fact gravely ill. And her daughter posted on her Twitter account yesterday saying, "Hello, friends. I'm Mia's daughter, Abigail. Many of you are aware that mom has been fighting glioblastoma brain cancer. Sadly, her cancer is no longer responding to treatment and the cancer is progressing. We have shifted our focus from treatment to enjoying our remaining time with her. I'm building an archive of special moments or special memories with Mia. Please send your pictures, videos, and memories to me at mialovememories@gmail.com."
We should
so sad.
We should send one of our videos.
I totally will. Yeah, I absolutely will.
Because she is so dear and lovely.
Yeah.
I don't understand this. I don't this is one of the questions I'm going to ask God one day when I go to heaven. I'm going to be like, why does this happen? I don't get it. It's like, why does this happen to good people? And why do dogs only live to be like 8 years old? I don't get it.
So many questions.
So many questions. Yeah. This is so unfair. Y'all pray for her family.
I know. It's just so sad. And then when you're busy asking God those questions, which are very, very important, please also ask him how it is that certain people who have no business having ego and super high levels of confidence have it. And when I'm talking about that, I mean, case in point, Tim Walz, who has said that he might run for president in 2028. Despite the utter and complete failure of his vice president run with Kamala Harris at the top of the ticket.
Yes. While you're praying, please pray for these people to have some semblance of self-awareness. Because they have
zero. Kamala feels about that.
Zero. Oh, I know, right? It's like,
you know what I mean?
It's like, so you're saying there's a chance. No, Tim.
Why would he think anyone wants this? Nobody wants this.
Who is telling him that this is a thing? I hope he does it though. I hope he does it so we can continue to make fun of this guy. Okay. All right.
I mean, that is some self-confidence, you guys.
I know. I can bottle that and sell it. That self-confidence that should not be there. I can't.
I know.
Okay.
We mentioned, of course, that the State of the Union is happening tonight at a very late hour, which is not good for me.
Mock goes to bed at like 7:30, you guys.
I know.
Okay.
So mad. I'm going to have to take so many naps.
Tomorrow morning, she's going to be so mad. She's going to be, so just get ready, you guys. Prepare yourselves.
It's gonna be an ugly Thursday Wednesday morning. It's gonna be an ugly Wednesday morning.
Ugly. Yeah.
But now we know the theme of tonight's address that was announced yesterday. It is the renewal of the American dream.
I love that. There's a theme.
So it's a great theme.
That looks like a book cover. I love it.
It does look like a book cover,
doesn't it? I'd read it. I'd read that book.
Totally.
Let me subscribe to this newsletter. I love it.
And then Trump also tweeted a little preview of it and simply said, tomorrow night, he said this yesterday, will be big. I will tell it like it is.
He should have said huge. He missed an opportunity. It'll be huge. Hugely.
It's going to be big stuff, you guys. And then also you're going to see some revolting and some what's the word? Demonstrating, I guess, for lack of a better word, some defiance from the Democrats already. What is it? Chris Murphy who said, "I'm not going."
Yeah, yesterday we talked about that dude. He's like, "I'm boycotting this."
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Shut
whatever.
up.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you're there or not. Okay. Whatever.
Well, and Simone Sanders is encouraging all Democrats to boycott. Here is Simone just being obnoxious AF about it.
The former comm strategist in me says Democrats should collectively not attend, including Leader Jeffries.
Why?
We'll see. I think the Democrats are going, and that's part of the dang on problem. Do not attend. Do not attend.
Why? What that shows the American people is that they're not team players. They're not working for the American people. If they don't go, then we should quit paying them.
Yeah.
Do
your job.
Yeah, do your freaking job. That's what you're supposed to. So if I don't like something at my corporate job, I just don't show up.
Right?
I get fired for that. These people are toddlers. Seriously.
Absolute toddlers, without question. And Ilhan Omar was on one of the talk shows describing what sort of defiance other Democrats may participate in other than boycotting. She also talked about perhaps wearing things that are defiant.
Oh my God, they do this all the time.
I know. But here's what she said about Democrats and they're expressing their discontent with the speech.
What does that look like? I mean, there have been walkouts in the past. Is that still a possibility? What does defiance look like?
I mean, it will look different for every member. I think this go around. We shouldn't be surprised if we see walkouts. We shouldn't be surprised if we see, the kind of coordinated effort in dressing a certain way to send a message. We shouldn't be surprised if we see people might even, verbally react to some of the lies that we know he is going to tell about the work that his administration is doing and the harm that is causing the American people.
You married your brother. Just
what else needs to be said?
Right. You married your brother.
So what do you think they're going to wear? Because, before they've worn white, but I feel like they're going to wear Ukraine colors. That's what I think they're going to do is wear blue and yellow.
If they wear blue and yellow, Mock, if they wear Ukraine colors, then you know what country they represent. That would be so disrespectful to every American if they do that. What a bunch of
right
assholes.
Up their alley.
What a bunch. Right. If they do that, because that is a great prediction, but if they do that, what a bunch of completely disrespectful assholes if they do that. I can't.
I feel like this is going to be an interesting night.
It will be.
Say that. It's going to be a very interesting night.
Wow. If they do that, then you know who they're working for. And they're not working for Americans. Yeah, they're traitors, Gina. Traitors.
Yep. And then meanwhile, last night at midnight, the tariffs against Canada and Mexico were officially kicked in. And in anticipation of that, yesterday afternoon, the stock market took a big, giant nosedive. So do not look at any of your statements today.
Just don't do it today.
Just don't do it.
It'll bounce back.
I mean, it's going to be an interesting ride. Trump was asked yesterday by a reporter and this was obviously before the tariffs kicked in, but he was asked, is there any chance that negotiations can continue? Is there anything that can happen tonight to thwart tariffs actually starting at midnight? And here is how Trump responded to that question.
On the tariffs, is there any room left for Canada and Mexico to make a deal before midnight? And should we expect those Chinese tariffs, the extra 10%, to take
no room left for Mexico or for Canada? No, the tariffs, they're all set. They go into effect tomorrow.
Canada tariffs the crap out of us. They do that to us. And people are like, oh my God, so mean. It's here in Canada. Don't do that. So mean. They tariff the crap out of us. So this is business, man. We talked a little bit about that yesterday. We've talked about it before. You and I have, where he is treating this country like a business. It's about damn time that somebody does that because we're being taken advantage of. So this is how a business would be run. I'm glad that he's finally doing it. There's going to be some hiccups. There's going to be a little bit of discomfort. And, okay, that's fine. If in the long run, if we're playing the long game, if down the road it benefits all of us, I'm totally cool with it. And yeah, the free ride is over, Carrie. For other people to be taking advantage of us, I'm done. I'm done with people doing that.
It could get bumpy because Doug Ford, who obviously Canadian leadership, he is talking about literally turning off electricity for parts of the United States that currently get electricity from Canada. Here he is talking. He's talking a big game right here. Here he is.
The contracts that we have with the U.S., we are the largest purchaser of alcohol in the world. We buy over 3,600 products from 35 states. I talked to the governor of Kentucky and Mitch McConnell. Don't touch our bourbon. I'm going after absolutely everything. And I don't want to. We keep the lights on to 1.5 million homes in manufacturing in New York, in Michigan, and in Minnesota. If he wants to destroy our economy and our families, I will shut down the electricity going down to the U.S. And I'm telling you, we will do it. It's unfortunate. I would rather ship you more electricity, ship you more critical minerals. I want to ship you more energy, more potash to keep your farmers going, and uranium that you use for your nuclear power. It comes through from Saskatchewan over to Ontario, and it's going to be a massive, massive problem.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
Yikes! I would be a little nervous, I have to say, if I were in one of those three areas that relies on Canada right now for power.
It's true, because if you would die if you didn't have power for 45 minutes.
I would absolutely.
She would die, you guys.
It'd be bad.
She'd be like, I don't have Instagram.
Well, for me, it'd be Twitter. Instagram,
right.
I'd care about less, but Twitter, I would be like, I cannot live without it.
That's true. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we'll see how this all shakes out. Obviously, everybody's roughing it up with each other and talking a big game. Yeah. So we'll see.
It's a bunch of guys having a sword fight at this point.
I'm sure you talked about the fact that we still don't have the Epstein files yesterday.
Yeah, Pam Bondi has made a lot of promises that she hasn't delivered on, and she's making more promises now.
She is. She's making some more promises. She was on with, I think it was Hannity, and I still maintain that she really effed up. The whole rollout of this was a complete disaster, and she's talking out of both sides of her face a little bit. I do have hope after listening to her last night that we will see ultimately the files. However, for her to pretend as though she was somehow not aware that what she had earlier was not the complete file, you don't then get to put it into binders and make a big presentation about it. You can't have it both ways.
Right.
And so it's irritating to me that she continues to insist that she was somehow duped. She knew what was going on and just decided to have a big influencer show anyway. But here she is talking about the latest, because as you recall, Friday at 8 a.m. was her new deadline to Kash Patel and the FBI SDNY to get everything to her. And there is an update about that.
I gave them a deadline of Friday at 8 a.m. to get us everything. And a source had told me where the documents were being kept. Southern District of New York, shock. So we got them all by, hopefully all of them, Friday at 8 a.m., thousands of pages of documents. I have the FBI going through them, and Cash is also, now that we have Cash here, it's a game changer, of course, and Cash is going to, Director Patel is going to get us a detailed report as to why the FBI withheld all of those documents. A truckload of evidence arrived. It's now in the possession of the FBI. Cash is going to get me and himself, really, a detailed report as to why all these documents and evidence had been withheld. And, you know, we're going to go through it as fast as we can, but go through it very cautiously to protect all the victims of Epstein. Because the Biden administration sat on these documents. No one did anything with them. And why were they sitting in the Southern District of New York? I want a full report on that. You know, sadly, these people don't believe in transparency, but I think more, unfortunately, I think a lot of them don't believe in honesty. And it's a new day, it's a new administration, and everything's going to come out to the public. The public has a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
Okay, a couple things. If we don't see documents in the next couple days, then she's cooked because she has made promises before and she's not followed through on her promises. And then also, I'm wondering, like, they've had a lot of time. Whoever it is that delivered this truckload of files has had time to redact, to destroy, to edit, to manipulate these files. And so what's been done with the files up to this point? We're not ever going to see the true files. That's how I feel about it. We're just not. It's the true non-manipulated files. So we're not ever going to get the real story here as to what really happened with Epstein. We're going to get a watered down version. That's how I feel about it anyway, because they've had so much time to F with these files. Yeah. So, you know, I just think even the people that we trust here, you know, the Cashes and the Pam Bondis, they've been given a watered down version of stuff. And so it's gone through filters before it gets to us. So it sucks. It totally sucks.
And then whenever the SDNY got all the stuff that they have, was there not ever anybody that synthesized all of that into a report? Like, is it seriously just like loose pages of crap that have never been organized in any way, that have never been analyzed and put into an actual readable report?
Well, I mean, this is the government, Mock. So
that's true.
Probably.
But I mean, damn.
Yeah, but she's got to deliver something to us that is juicy and that we start to see some heads roll. Otherwise, she is cooked.
Yeah, she's got some things to prove now, and she better hurry up. Honestly, I don't like. She keeps saying, "Oh, we're going to get this report from Cash Patel about why the files were withheld."
I don't give a shit.
Give a crap. Just take care of the people that withheld them. Give them the whatever consequences they need to face, and then just get the files out.
We just want to see names. We just want to see names. That's all we care about. So deliver that. Right.
Yeah. I have no segue whatsoever or transition from that to this, and that is dogs. It's dogs, you guys.
Well, I had a dog named Cash, so you could have but Cash wasn't smelly. He wasn't ever smelly. He was just so good. You should keep your dog non-smelly by using coat defense.
I mean, that is one of the things. I know we've spent a lot of time talking about this preventative treatment powder from Coat Defense, which is fantastic at getting rid of some of the things that cause skin irritations and ear infections and, you know, your dogs to like chew at their paws and stuff. We've talked a lot about that, but this is fantastic stuff to de-smellify the things that your dogs use the most. So if you have a dog bed, a lot of times, not only are they stinky, but that is the source of some of the skin irritations that they can get. And you can just sprinkle this stuff either on your dog or on their bedding. And you can prevent a lot of the problems that end up causing their red, scaly, itchy skin. So this stuff is not just for, you know, just treatment. It's actually for preventing, and it's for getting rid of the smells that can sometimes be associated with dogs.
Astrid has a hot spot on her tail, and I put it on that whenever, because it'll like pop up every once in a while. It's great for little hot spots too. And they have balm, you guys. The balm is bomb. The balm is bomb. It's so great. Their stuff is awesome.
It is. The shampoo is fantastic.
Yeah,
Their whole line of products, really, really good. You can use it on cats too. You can check it out at coatdefense.com. Use code CHICKS. You're going to get 15% off of your entire order. coatdefense.com. As I was with you guys last on Thursday, and I remember that we spent a little bit of time talking about Andrew Tate and what a complete scumbag he is. And a lot of people in our audience are huge fans of his for reasons I will never understand.
He's an alpha male.
Ew. Well, he is also, and this is a clip that we can show, because remember we had talked about a clip that was going viral last week of him just saying absolutely abhorrent things about things he did to women. I mean, coming out of his own face. Just gross things. So he was on, unfortunately, Patrick Bet-David gave him a platform. He was on with Patrick Bet-David the other day, and he is now blaming Epstein's Island. The fact that Epstein's Island was a thing and that there were so many people going to it and doing disgusting things, he is blaming that on the fact that we like the traditional family here in the United States, that the Western values include having intact families and men being monogamous, faithful partners to their wives. Imagine that. Like, it's such a horrible concept, but he's insisting that's why people went to Epstein's Island. Listen to this.
Who's stuck with a woman and you don't even get along with each other, and it's a show marriage and you have to be together and you argue all the time and you're sexually repressed and you're being promised in secret that you can go to an island and finally be pleasured and satisfied. No one's ever going to find out. That's how you end up on the island. So this whole monogamy garbage that's being pushed by the West, especially amongst our elites, is the reason we have the biggest problem with pedophilia. And they don't have this problem in South America because they all have girlfriends. They don't have this problem in Russia because they all have girlfriends. The Thai elites don't have this problem. They all have girlfriends. But here in the West, we're saying, nope, you just stick with your wife, only her, be happy with her. What happens if you don't get along?
So that guy is a lunatic.
Yeah. Yeah, it's because we don't.
Hear me.
What now?
Your dog. He can't hear me.
Yeah. He just, again, I was like, he opened the door and walked right in here like he was invited, you guys. Getting a little sick of that, Coda. Yeah. He just shoved his butt right in my face too. Yeah. So he thinks that because we believe in monogamy here, that's what drives people to go be on his island.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. If you deify this guy, if in any way you prop him up as to be some sort of an example of a good alpha male, stop it.
Just
raise your hand and then promptly punch yourself in the face.
Yeah. He is a scourge on humanity. Truly. Yeah. He's just disgusting. And speaking of disgusting people, Jasmine Crockett, always a reliable source of crazy. After the, after the melee that took place in the Oval Office on Friday, she came out and called Trump an enemy to America.
Fortunately, we have someone that is occupying the White House. And as far as I'm concerned, he is an enemy to the United States. He swore an oath just like the rest of us. But right now, when you are literally putting us at risk, all because of what? Because you want to convince your followers that you should be a dictator too, that you should never leave the White House because you don't believe that elections should take place. I don't really understand what is going on, and I don't know what it's going to take to get people to wake up.
Jasmine should suit up and start fighting for Ukraine.
Yes, I would love that.
I double dog dare you, Jasmine. Go ahead. Put on some fatigues. Like Zelensky, those little fake fatigues, and then start fighting the good fight. If you really believe in that, go do it. Because apparently these people all want to be Ukrainian. They're not American. Go be Ukrainian then. Go live over there. I'm so sick of these people bowing down to like the almighty Ukraine. If you don't want to be American, then don't be American. Go live in Ukraine. Like, we'll go fund. We'll do like a GoFundMe for it, won't we? A one-way ticket. That. Yeah, we could do a one-way. I feel like our community would help rally for a one-way ticket for her to go live in Ukraine and go fight the good fight.
Well, and her stupidity did not end there. She, of course, is complaining and bitching about Elon Musk, as she always does. And one of the things that she is trying to say about the fact that he is a billionaire is that the only reason he's a billionaire is because people give him money. Like people just give it to him. I don't know. You listen to this and she's crazy.
To X,
He has never made a profit since he bought X. In fact, the value of X is 75% lower than it has ever been. So if I am going to go look for somebody to run a business, I'm going to look for someone who is going to run one successfully. And before people start screaming and yelling about, well, he's a billionaire. Yeah, when you know the right people and they'll just give you money, then you can become a billionaire too.
What is she saying?
Okay. Yeah. Why hasn't she done that then?
Yeah.
You know? Why hasn't
where do I meet those people? Like, where do I meet
because the American
people that
people
just give you money?
Well, the American people just give her money for being a complete idiot. So why isn't she a billionaire yet? It's astounding to me, right? Like they have no idea how it works in the private sector. They don't know. They don't know what it's like to go out there and actually make a living and not rely on the American taxpayer to like sponge off of them to make a living and to actually make it in the private sector and become a millionaire or a billionaire. They don't know what it's like.
She's the worst of the worst.
Yep.
And speaking of the worst, Kamala Harris does not want to be forgotten. And she believes that she is a bit of a mouthpiece for the Democrat Party. And so she reached out to Americans who might be feeling like they just don't know what to do. They're so mad at Trump and Elon, but like, what can they do? And so here is her message of inspiration.
Can I do? Well, let me just remind you, please. You have power. You have power, and no one, no situation, no circumstance can take it from you. So please stay active, whether it's attending a town hall meeting or volunteering in your community or talking with your friends, your neighbors, your relatives about what's at stake. Whether it be this attempt to again give tax cuts to the richest among us while they're trying to get rid of Medicaid. You can make a difference, so please stay active, please stay involved.
Meanwhile,
so inspiring.
Tony Robbins is like, stop trying to be me.
Stay in your lane.
Just please. You're not a motivational speaker. Just stop. Oh my God.
Anyway, in case you were wondering if Kamala's still doing things, she is.
Yeah.
And then lastly, before we get into more of the fallout with the whole the Ukraine-Russia thing, just one quick headline. Do you remember Dank Damas, that gigantic beast of a hip hop star, I guess, who
the rapper
sued Lyft? Was it Lyft or it was Lyft, right?
Yeah, I think Lyft. it was Lyft, for not driving her in their car because they were afraid that she was gonna like basically ruin the little car.
Because she's 500 pounds, you guys, 500 pounds. So apparently her lawsuit went absolutely nowhere, but it doesn't matter because she is now making a fortune through OnlyFans.
Gross. It's just so gross.
Oh my God. She sells explicit content and makes millions of dollars. Who are the people that buy that?
I saw yesterday, side note about OnlyFans. I saw yesterday that, remember Charlie Sheen and Denise Richards, right? Charlie Sheen and Denise Richards have a daughter. And that daughter is on OnlyFans because naturally Charlie Sheen's daughter is going to do OnlyFans, right? I mean, what else? She's not going to be a doctor, for crying out loud. So she did OnlyFans. And Denise Richards was like, oh, my daughter does OnlyFans. Instead of telling her that that's probably not a good career choice, I'm going to join her and also do OnlyFans.
It together?
They don't do it together, but she has her own OnlyFans too. So Denise Richards now has an OnlyFans because naturally her mother's going to do that too, right? So she has an OnlyFans. And I'm just and she was on an interview with the chick that does, who owns Skinny Girl, Bethany Frankel. And she was telling Bethany Frankel about how it's just super lucrative. She makes gobs of money. She makes gobs of money. Her daughter makes gobs of money. And this is the thing. All of these chicks are making ridiculous amounts of money on OnlyFans. And listen, men pay for this. It's the men, Mock. It's the men who are out there paying. It is depravity. It is utter depravity. It's them. It's the guys who are like,
what's wrong with them?
It's the guys who like the dude that we just made fun of that was talking about Epstein, right?
Tate.
It's the guys who like Andrew Tate. and Tristan Tate that are like paying for this garbage. That's why they're making a lot of money. That's why this fat chick is making a ton of money off of OnlyFans, because there will always be an audience for it. So there's that.
So gross.
It is gross. It's gross. Yeah.
Oh my God. You guys, here is a tip if you are under the weather, because I know this is the season. There's still lots and lots of weird bugs going around, whether it's cold or flus or even COVID. If you don't want to mess with dealing with a doctor's office visit, you don't want to have to talk to a doctor about perhaps getting ivermectin or hydroxychloroquine because your doctor is a little weird about those drugs. Or maybe you just don't want to be around other sick people and you would rather have the drugs that you need at home and be able to get the prescription drugs that you need at home without ever going to an urgent care or clinic. We have the answer for you. It is allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks. They have over 200 different medications, including the ones I just listed, lots of antibiotics and a lot of different antibiotics that treat all of the common infections that you might get, whether it's bronchitis, UTIs, all the stuff is there and available for you at allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks. And the best part is that, of course, there's a discount. If you use code CHICKS10, you will get 10% off your entire order. And you can sometimes get those drugs overnighted, but like at most, it's like 2 days. So super, super speedy, easy to order, easy to get. Love everything about this. Just love having them on hand, knowing that if we come down with something, we've got the drugs that we need right in the medicine cabinet. It is fantastic. allfamilypharmacy.com/chicks, code CHICKS10. All right, let's get into the Ukraine, Russia fallout. So Zelensky is an oddball, obviously. And ever since the disrespect that he showed to America, essentially, in the Oval Office, he's been vacillating between trying to sort of say things that would make amends, but then also staying completely defiant about not apologizing. And I cannot figure out his game plan here. It doesn't make much sense. He's been doing a lot of tweeting. So if you could read, they're kind of long, but I always have you read the long ones.
I know, you do.
So, there's 2 tweets, and I'd like you to read both, and then there'll be a video from him.
Okay. As a result of these days, we see clear support from Europe, even more unity, even more willingness to cooperate. Everyone is united on the main issue. For peace to be real, we need real security guarantees. And this is the position of all of Europe, the entire continent, the United Kingdom, the European Union, Turkey. The way that he spelled that is just so weird. Of course, we understand the importance of America, and we are grateful for all the support we've received from the United States. There has not been a day when we haven't felt gratitude. It's gratitude for the preservation of our independence. Our resilience in Ukraine is based on what our partners are doing for us and for their own security. What we need is peace, not endless war. And that's why we say security guarantees are the key to this. The basic scenario is to maintain positions and create conditions for proper diplomacy to achieve the swiftest possible end to this war with a just peace. We need peace, true and honest peace, not endless war, and security guarantees are essential. Oh my God, dude. The absence of security guarantees for Ukraine 11 years ago allowed Russia to start with the occupation of Crimea and the war in Donbass. Later, the absence of security guarantees allows Russia to launch a full-scale invasion. And now, due to the lack of clear security guarantees, Russia continues to fuel this war. The world sees this and the world acknowledges it. Today, we continued our work with European partners on a special diplomatic and security architecture that can bring us closer to peace. Then why doesn't he just do what he's supposed to do? He doesn't want peace. This guy is full of crap, Mock. He does not want peace. There is not a part of him that I am convinced that wants peace at all. He wants it. He does want an endless war. That's what he wants because it continues to give him money and power. I think he's full of shit.
I do too. I'm so sick of him. And again, the messages are very mixed, right? Like he tries to throw in there, oh yeah, we never stopped feeling gratitude.
No.
And like Europe is awesome. Like Europe is totally on our side. And so here's a video that he put out, which does have a translator, speaking for him. So you'll understand what he's saying. Here he is yesterday.
I'm grateful to President Trump for his sincere interest in our common opportunities, in how we can bring real peace together. It was a long conversation. We discussed many nuances, diplomatic, military, economic, and President Trump informed me of what Putin had told him. We believe that America's strength is enough to push Russia and Putin to peace together with us, together with all our partners.
Okay, well then sign the freaking deal and stop being such a jerk.
That's what he should have done, and he won't do it. He won't do it because we are literally his sugar daddy, and he doesn't want to end the gravy train. And that's just the bottom line. Anybody who can't see that, I'm sorry, I cannot help you. That's what he is. He is riding a gravy train, and he doesn't want it to end because the guy was a freaking comedian. He was a nobody before they put him into this position. And now he's got all this power. He's got all this control. He's got money. He's got people living in a state of martial law. He's halted free and fair elections. I mean, he is a freaking dictator and he's loving it. He's a dictator and he loves it. Why would he end that? You know?
Well, and the posturing that Europe is doing right now is, there is reason for the United States to be super concerned about Europe's response to this because, especially with the UK talking about this 100-year deal that they're making with Ukraine and how they're talking about putting defense positioning where Russia currently has control. Like they are really provoking Russia. And the more they do that, if they provoke Russia into actually being aggressive against other countries aside from Ukraine, then we are effed because that means we have NATO obligations and we got to come in. And that's what they're counting on. And that's what makes me so worried because if we don't get out of NATO, we're going to be sucked into a World War III.
Agreed.
And it's the fault of Europe. They are the ones that are now dragging this out.
They're
because
bloodthirsty.
They could easily say to Zelensky, you need to sign that deal with America because we're out. Until you sign, we are not helping you because that is your ticket to peace.
Right.
Go do it.
And you got the Keir Starmers of the world who are like, oh my God, we'll back you no matter what. And it's like,
my God.
It's so great. You're right. He's a giant wuss. And it's nice to listen. It's nice to say we back you forever when you have no skin in the game. When we're paying like 80% of everything. We're the big daddy. We pull out and they got jack squat.
Will we? That's the question.
I feel like, listen, if anybody is going to do it, it's Trump. That guy, biggest balls on the planet. Look at what he's done so far. Can you imagine
if he announced that tonight? Like,
it'd be the greatest. Oh, but people's heads would explode, and I am there for it.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
It would be the greatest thing ever. Listen, I feel like he's capable of doing that.
I mean, we'll see.
If there's anybody that understands that we are being taken advantage of and who doesn't want World War III, because you see him I played a clip yesterday when he was talking to thin-lipped Caitlin Collins back in the day when he was running for president. He was asked by her, who do you want Ukraine to win this war? And he's like, I want people to stop dying.
Right.
That's what he wants. And I truly believe that that's the case. He doesn't want people to continue. He wants this to stop. He wants peace. What a concept, right? Yeah. He wants peace and he wants to stop being taken advantage of. And so I think that he is truly capable of pulling out of NATO. I think that would be the best case scenario. And let's see how big his balls are tonight.
It's going to be something. And now we also know that Senate Democrats contributed to the chaos that took place in the Oval Office. So there was this report about how Democrats led Zelensky and Ukraine off the cliff because they pressured him to reject the deal with President Trump. They didn't want Trump to have a win of any kind. So they pressured him to do exactly what he did. And so they are complicit in prolonging this war.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just... Wow.
Democrats, shame on Democrats. They are warmongering, bloodthirsty jackholes.
Yep. It's incredible to watch the switch.
Really? I know. This is the thing. Like they used to be the party of anti-war. They used to be the party of peace, right? They were like the hippies way back in the day. And you guys look at us. We are the hippies now.
It's crazy. It's so wild. And JD Vance, God love him. He This is what he posted in response to Chris Murphy saying that Trump is aligned with Putin. He posted this from, what is it, The Office?
It's from, I can't, is it from Horrible Bosses? Is that what it's
Yes,
from?
from Horrible Bosses. Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm
just
dying.
love him so much.
That is the greatest thing
He's like the king of the trolls right now.
Oh my God. So great. Best VP ever.
Yeah. And then also there was news yesterday that Zelensky said in some interview of his that the war is going to go on for a long, long time, that peace is far, far away, which was pretty remarkable. And Trump tweeted about it. He was furious. He said, this is the worst statement that could have been made by Zelensky, and America will not put up with it for much longer.
Right.
It's what I was saying. This guy doesn't want there to be peace as long as he has America's backing. And Europe, in the meeting they had with Zelensky, stated flatly that they cannot do the job without the U.S. Probably not a great statement to have been made in terms of a show of strength against Russia. What are they thinking?
He sure does like our money, though, doesn't he?
He sure does.
And he sure is enriching himself. He and his freaking wife.
Oh, God.
And
yeah,
all
we've got some clips of them.
Right. And all the higher ups, they sure have enriched themselves, haven't they? They've gotten rich off this war. This guy is a piece of crap. I swear.
And Trump was asked about this whole statement that he made, saying that the end of the war is very, very far away. And without naming Zelensky, he said, anybody who says that is on their way out. Here is Trump.
Everybody has to get into a room, so to speak, and we have to make a deal. And the deal can be made very fast. It should not be that hard a deal to make. It could be made very fast. Now, maybe somebody doesn't want to make a deal. And if somebody doesn't want to make a deal, I think that person won't be around very long. That person will not be listened to very long because I believe that Russia wants to make a deal. I believe certainly the people of Ukraine want to make a deal. They've suffered more than anybody else.
Exactly, they do. I'd like to know where Ben Stiller and Angelina Jolie and Sean Penn and all those other jackholes are that were paid to go suck up to this guy.
They're probably organizing another trip.
I mean, you haven't heard much from them lately, have you? You know, you don't hear them like tweeting about this or talking about how great he is because, you know, we all found out that they were a bunch of phonies that went over and did that. It's weird. They kept their money. They didn't give it back. They didn't give it back to us. I just like to know where they are on this right now.
Now, there's a report from Peter Doocy. I don't know, because again, this is like a source, so I don't know how accurate this is, but he was hearing from officials that even if Zelensky does want to come back and sign the deal as it is, that Trump won't allow him to sign it or won't let there be a deal unless there is a very public apology for his behavior this past Friday. Here's Peter Doocy.
Quite a disconnect happening here at the White House and with their allies in Kyiv, because I have been told by a senior official here that nothing's going to happen with this minerals deal until Zelensky goes in front of cameras and makes an explicit public apology for the way that he behaved himself. Behaved in the Oval Office with that meeting.
He won't do it.
He won't do it.
He won't do it. Yeah. And plus he's got Democrats in his ear, you know, telling him, don't make a deal. Don't do this. Don't you dare apologize. We hate him. And he's going to see tonight at this, you know, address to Congress, he's going to see all of these people that are on his side. You know, they will. Kind of like what you said. They're probably going to dress like in blue and yellow and all that bull crap. And they're going to show alliance to him. And that will embolden him. I just feel like that's going to happen, which is insane.
Yeah, it is.
Every single person that shows that they are somehow, you know, in alliance with Zelensky should be kicked out of office immediately. Like, what is wrong with these people? Because you know they're going to do that.
It's going to be, this night is going to be so
insane.
Crazy. Oh my God. And then because Zelensky made the comment about how the war is going to not be over for a really, really, really long time, Trump had enough. And so last night he was like, you know what? Screw this. I'm cutting off aid right now. No more. At least not like this isn't like a permanent pause, but we are pausing aid because I'm sick of his shit. Here's what
He's pausing all U.S. military aid to Ukraine until President Trump determines the Ukrainians show a commitment of good faith peace negotiations. That's according to a senior Trump administration telling Fox. This is not a permanent termination of aid. It is a pause. The orders are going out right now.
See how well he does. I think it's great. It's like a daddy cutting off a ungrateful little brat in college, out there partying, spending daddy's money. Let's see how well you do on your own.
Yeah.
We'll just take a pause and see how well you do.
Yeah, run along and find your friend Justin Trudeau. See if he'll help you out.
Yeah, let's see. Let's see how well you do. Find any other European friend and see how well you do without daddy's money.
I was very interested to know what Victoria Spartz thought about last Friday, because of course she is the only Ukrainian immigrant in Congress, and so she obviously has strong ties to Ukraine, and so I thought, well, where is she going to fall on this issue? And now we know. Here she is saying exactly how she felt.
Only Ukrainian congressperson on Capitol Hill, and I just want to first get your initial reaction to what we saw between the two presidents.
Well, I'll be honest with you, it is outright stupid from a president of a foreign country who is really in need of the American support to act like that. Mr. Hollywood got all offended that he's not at the table, but it's not time for the show. It's a time for serious conversation, but act like that and come into the White House and be disrespectful, to the American people is the dumb as it gets, and he goes around Europe and do all these presentations. And let me tell you, Europeans now, we're going to do this massive things now, and this we woke up seriously after almost decade, since Russia invaded Ukraine. Now they're waking up. It's a joke.
I freaking love her.
I know, I love her too.
We know her. We've spent time with her personally, and she is the real deal. She's awesome.
Yeah, and she's so right. I mean, like, for Europe to pretend that they're all like Mr. Tough Guy now is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Justin Trudeau, who of course is on his way out, he was asked by reporters whether Canada would have boots on the ground for Ukraine, and you guys, he didn't rule it out. Can you imagine? Canadians with boots on the ground. It's so absurd to even think about, but here's Justin making the case.
Mr. Starmer said specifically it will mean UK boots on the ground and planes in the air. From your answer, I am taking that will not mean Canadian boots on the ground. Is that, just to finish, is that the case, or are you considering Canadian boots on the ground in the form of peacekeepers down the road?
Every step of the way, Canada has looked at the ways it can best help. And as I've said a few days ago, everything's on the table. We know that the Canadian military has ways that it can contribute. We're not going to get ahead of the discussions on how to keep a peace that isn't yet in place. But Canada will be there and is open to doing what is necessary, but those will be decisions taken in the coming years by Canadians and their government.
Right. We're going to send in the ones with the Two-Spirit flags first. We're going to send them in first. Right.
Oh my God.
It's just a cluster, man. It's okay. All right, Trudeau.
And then if it didn't even get, if it weren't already ridiculous enough, there's that Representative Vindman who was on the panel, on CNN's panel with Pete Seat, our friend Pete Seat, and he was trying to say that he demands that Trump apologize to Zelensky. He demands it, you guys. Here he is demanding.
I want to know why our ally is allowed to disrespect the United States of America, the leader, the current leader of this free world.
Vance owns
let me
Zelensky
finish.
an apology. President Trump owes Zelensky an apology for the way he was treated.
For what?
I demand it.
What?
I demand that they give.
You demand. Okay, so UN resolution number 2.
If you're going to go ahead and say preposterous things like Zelensky owes an apology for being attacked, I'm going to go ahead and say something outrageous. Actually, I'm going to go ahead.
Price of you say that Ukraine wants peace.
I think JD Vance should resign. How about that? We're just going to go through crazy stuff into the air.
You say Ukraine wants peace. Yeah. If Zelensky wanted peace, then he would have kept his mouth shut.
What? He did until there were lies.
What?
Until there were lies.
JD
Vance didn't lie about anything. They were talking about not a dictator.
That wasn't.
That's not what
he was said that today.
That's not what he was
responding to. No one said that.
Y'all not pro Zelensky. No, y'all not.
Oh, sorry. Pete's face is all of us, right? Like the way that he's just like,
why? You're an idiot. And he's absolutely right. If he wanted peace, it would already be done. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now. He doesn't want it. He wants the money. Oh my God.
I mean, that was crazy. And then I love this lady. You saw a little tease of her that I didn't mean to show. But anyway, this woman on TikTok has a message to all the people who claim to be pro-Ukraine, pro-Zelensky. Here she is.
That's not what he was. No one said that.
Y'all not pro Zelensky. No, y'all not. Y'all can miss me with that. Y'all are not pro Zelensky. Y'all just anti-Trump. That's all it is. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye. She's right.
I love her. I love her so much.
100% correct. And not only are they anti-Trump, they're anti-America.
Mm-hmm.
So shame on you, man. Shame on you. God. And every one of those people tonight that we see wearing blue and yellow, F you.
Or the Ukrainian flag pins, because if at minimum there will be a ton of those.
I just F you, man. Especially when you are being paid to represent this country. When we are paying for you to live and we're paying for your retirements and we're paying for all your little perks. F you. In advance.
Go over and fight. If you believe in that strongly, go and get on. They're taking recruits.
Right.
They're dragging them off the street involuntarily, but they're also taking them from all over the world. So if you want to go volunteer, put your money where your mouth is.
They have freaking kids with Down syndrome fighting for them. You go fight. If you believe that strongly, Jasmine, go fight. Good Lord.
And then a lot of people are reposting this Vogue photo shoot of Zelensky and his wife from 2022. And so even though it's a couple years old, just watching this happen during wartime is so off-putting. But here's a little behind the scenes and then a few photos that resulted from this Annie Leibovitz Vogue photo shoot.
Of course, it's Annie Leibovitz. So gross.
Oh my God, it's vile.
It is vile. God, look at her. In her like $3,000 outfit.
Can you even?
They have enriched themselves. It's disgusting.
It's really, 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 really gross.
Yeah. You know what? Put on a suit, dude.
Right? Enough with this costume. It's just enough already. It's just so icky.
Where'd you get your hair done, lady? I bet that cost a fortune. I mean, and we paid for that.
But definitely, like, let's make it look like you're in the midst of a torn down building or something when we all know that you're living the high life in some mansion thanks to our money.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Oh my God.
You're welcome.
There's been a lot of question and a lot of criticism of Trump for calling Zelensky a dictator. And in fact, he's like, did I call him that? I don't even remember doing that. But there's some disagreement about whether or not he is in fact a dictator. And so Piers Morgan, for example, was talking to Tucker about this some time ago because Tucker believes that Zelensky is a dictator.
I do
and so they tried to agree on a definition. And here is how that went.
If the West allows Putin to just take the land he's taken, what guarantee do we have he won't try and take the rest of Ukraine? I think he's a pretty ruthless, evil Russian dictator.
How are we defining, just to find the term so we can follow the same term? What's a dictator?
I would start by saying you have no respect for democratic norms. A free and fair election.
Because Zelensky's obviously not elected either. He's also banned a religious denomination. He's murdered his political opponents. He has banned a language group. Those all seem like features of dictatorship to me. Now, he has the support of the British intelligence agencies. That doesn't mean he's not a dictator, though. That sounds like a dictator. I mean, if I just gave you a piece of paper and I'm like, here are some qualities of a European leader, you would say, well, that guy, that's not legitimate. That guy's a dictator. I can't support that. But his name's Zelensky, and he was once a comedian, and he does my show, so he's not a dictator. I think it's a dictator.
Right. I said yesterday to Chad, I think that he's cut from the same cloth as Putin. And, I mean, Chad didn't agree with me. But I
really?
Yeah, he didn't agree with me. He thinks that Putin is much worse, but I think that they're cut from the same cloth. I really do. I don't really see much of a difference between the two. I don't understand why people make such a delineation and think that Zelensky is so much better. He's not. I don't think he's any better. We just happen to be paying for him. You know what I mean? And I think people rationalize that. They rationalize in their brain, oh, he's better, because he looks nicer and we're fighting against, he's fighting against Putin. So he's got to be better, right? No, you just happen to be giving a lot of your tax money to him. So you want to make yourself feel better about the fact that you think he's better. He's no freaking better. You just, but way to rationalize, okay, but I just don't see much of a difference between the two. I don't. We just give, give money to one.
I wish I knew the name of the guy that you're about to see on BBC. I don't know his name, but he is speaking about Europe finally sort of waking up to the fact that they've got a problem on their hands. And I just loved everything about this guy.
I made this point yesterday, and I'll make it again because with you. But I hate it when I hear Europeans say we've got free healthcare and we've got free this, and free childcare, free. Yeah, it's because we're paying for your defense. That's why. You know, our biggest cost in this country is defense, and we're paying for yours too. You jerks. You're welcome. If you had to pay for that, would everything be free? You know, I mean, this is the thing. So pay your fair share, pay your own way. I'm sick of paying for your shit. I'm sick of it. So I'm glad that Trump is doing what he's doing. I'm glad. It's about time.
Well, and to that guy's point about particularly Germany finding themselves in an awfully big pickle when it comes to their energy policy, Trump actually warned about this in I think this was 2016 or 2017 when he was president the first time around, talking specifically about how Germany was paying Russia for energy, which is, it's completely crazy. Here he is back in his first presidency.
And to the point that a number of...
It's very sad when Germany makes a massive oil and gas deal with Russia, where you're supposed to be guarding against Russia, and Germany goes out and pays billions and billions of dollars a year to Russia. So we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting all of these countries.
Everybody.
And then numerous of the countries go out and make a pipeline deal with Russia, where they're paying billions of dollars into the coffers of Russia.
Unbelievable.
So we're supposed to protect you against Russia, but they're paying billions of dollars to Russia, and I think that's very inappropriate. And the former chancellor of Germany is the head of the pipeline company that's supplying the gas.
Unbelievable.
Ultimately, Germany will have almost 70% of their country controlled by Russia with natural gas. So you tell me, is that appropriate? I mean, I've been complaining about this from the time I got in. It should have never been allowed to have happened. But Germany is totally controlled by Russia because they were getting from 60 to 70% of their energy from Russia and a new pipeline. And you tell me if that's appropriate, because I think it's not. And I think it's a very bad thing for NATO, and I don't think it should have happened. And I think we have to talk to Germany about it. On top of that, Germany is just paying a little bit over 1%, whereas the United States, in actual numbers, is paying 4.2% of a much larger GDP. So I think that's inappropriate also. You know, we're protecting Germany, we're protecting France, we're protecting everybody, and yet we're paying a lot of money to protect. Now, this has been going on for decades. This has been brought up by other presidents, but other presidents never did anything about it because I don't think they understood it, or they just didn't want to get involved.
It's not just inappropriate, it's abusive. And he's stopping the abuse, and I am all for it. Seriously. Like, I love how he uses that word, inappropriate, because he's like, you know, it's business and we've been taken advantage of. But if this were a relationship, oh my God, we're being abused, you guys. Oh, wow.
Well, and that, you know, that was years ago, and yet it's still a it's a way worse problem now, to the point where even Jake Tapper is recognizing that Germany is essentially now, if they're throwing all their support behind Ukraine, they're essentially funding both sides of the war.
Yep.
Here's Brian Mast having that conversation with Jake Tapper.
They're still reliant on Russian oil and gas, moving it throughout Europe or moving it to other places and bringing it back into Europe. So they're essentially putting as much money into supporting Russia and not putting as much money into actually defending Ukraine, and then begging us to be the backstop for security. That comes to an end.
Yeah, I actually saw a study from a European group that showed that Europeans were actually buying more Russian oil and gas than they were helping Ukraine in terms of the aid. So in some ways, the Europeans are funding both sides in this war.
Jake Tapper should write a book about it. Jerk. God, swear. Oh, you're just now finding that out? Wow, Jake.
He should totally write a book about it.
Explosive. God.
We also, of course, have Scott Jennings. Because, we keep hearing from Zelensky, maybe the reason that ultimately he didn't sign the mineral deal is because he needs security guarantees. That was a security guarantee. And anybody that argues otherwise just has their head in the sand. Scott Jennings apparently was dealing with a lot of people on the panel who have their heads in the sand, but it is a security guarantee. If you are economically entangled with another country, that in itself is a guarantee that Russia is not going to come in and mess with us in that country, right? So that's why it should be considered a security guarantee. He tried to make that point. These are people that are really hard-headed. There's a couple clips, one about the security guarantee and one just talking about how stupid Zelensky was to behave the way that he did. I'll let them run together. Here it is.
It's interesting to me. They spend more money on Russian oil and gas last year than they sent to Ukraine collectively. That's number one. Number two, it's interesting to me that Zelensky could not see on Friday the benefit of signing the minerals deal. That in and of itself is a security guarantee. When our interests become your interests, that is a security guarantee. You're never going to get Trump to sign an agreement saying, well, we'll eventually put boots on the ground.
Scott, is not a security guarantee.
It is, because we would have guaranteed our own interests.
On top of that,
I think Donald Trump is very unhappy with the way Zelensky conducted himself in the Oval Office. He is serious about getting both countries to the table. And you talk about pulling the rug out from underneath someone. Well, who pulled the rug out first? Zelensky was supposed to show up at the White House Friday for a perfunctory meeting and sign this deal, which would have bound the United States and Ukraine closer together. And he just couldn't bring himself to just sign the papers and head out. And so, look, I think Trump ran on ending the war. He said day one. We're not at day one right now, but he wants to end the war as soon as possible. He has managed to engage Putin in some kind of conversation. He thought he was engaging Zelensky. And then Zelensky goes out today and says, oh, we're very, very far away from ending the war. Exactly. The exact wrong thing to do. I don't know who he's getting his political advice from, but he needs to stop listening. It sounds like maybe Chris Murphy and other Senate Democrats. Mm-hmm. If you want to understand how to deal with Donald Trump, those are the wrong clowns to consult with. Maybe for balloon animals at a child's birthday party, but not for geopolitical advice.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So to your point, because it's a point that actually when I had the birds here, of course we talked a lot about this, and we're watching a lot of clips about it.
Her parents are the birds.
Yes, my parents are birds.
That's new. Mm-hmm.
And she actually has people in her family who are incredibly liberal and just wrong about everything. And they are still in Poland. And so there's people, and, her family is very, very anti-Trump and very, very pro-Zelensky. And it's very easy for them to talk about how pro-Zelensky and pro-Ukraine they are when they know that they don't have to worry about their kids, their grandkids going to fight a war, because they don't have built up militaries that are capable of doing that. And so there's this chart that you're going to see on your screen. If you're listening and not watching, we're at the 1 hour, 9 minute mark. So you can come back and watch to see this chart if you would like. But essentially what it shows is that there were European countries were polled to see if their people thought Ukraine was getting enough support from the West. And all the countries were like, nope, not nearly enough. But when you ask each country if their country should increase the support, it's completely opposite. They're like, nope, we shouldn't be doing that. That's somebody else's job.
Unbelievable.
It is unreal how useless these Europeans are, because they're so entitled to us being the backstop, to us losing our sons and daughters to war. But they don't want to do that. They just want to continue to get all their free health care.
Right.
Oh my God, it makes me so mad.
What a bunch of assholes.
Right?
Yeah. It's like they're just entitled brats. That's not, well, you know what? We got to create a culture shift. You got to pull the plug at some point in order to change it. We can't continue to let these people do this, because you teach people how to treat you. And we have taught them that they can take advantage of us. Not okay. Yeah. I mean, you have a son that could potentially go to war. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that there are a lot of people watching us right now that have sons and grandsons and daughters and granddaughters that could go to war. I mean, I don't want my daughter going to war. I don't want her doing that. And I definitely don't want her going to Ukraine.
Yeah, this is insane. They're just entitled jerks.
Right.
And Germany's the worst of them, because you can see that they have such this huge number on the screen. I think it's like 64% of them think, we're just not giving nearly enough to Ukraine. The West as a whole is not giving nearly enough, but they're the ones that say most strongly, well, it shouldn't be us. It shouldn't be us giving more support.
Right. And then you have liberals in this country who are like, I wish we were more like Europe and we had, tons of vacation and all this maternity leave and that we had free healthcare. Well, this is why we don't have it, you jerks.
Yeah.
This is why we don't, because we're giving so much money to these other countries who do have it. So cut them off.
And let's just get the hell out of NATO, because
we got to get out of NATO for sure.
Yeah. And let them just be on their own. And then we'll see how tough talky they are. You know what I mean? Because now they're all like,
put them up.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Cowardly lion. We'll see.
I saw this meme, I guess, for lack of a better word, from Rob Jenkins on Twitter that just absolutely cracked me up, because he basically is putting together a doomsday of what would happen if this whole Ukraine war goes south. And it just was the way, it's such a troll, you guys. It's like this perfect troll. Here is what he said. He said, if Putin isn't stopped, all of Europe could succumb to totalitarianism. People could be jailed for social media posts. They could be threatened with arrest for praying in their homes. Rape gangs and child traffickers could run rampant. It's too awful to contemplate.
What in the what?
That he's making a joke, because those things are happening now.
I know. This is the thing. I know. This is like, okay.
It's so funny. This was like the best troll ever, because he's like, oh no.
Right. Where is he a professor?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm just curious. Because I mean, the
know,
fact that he's a professor,
this.
I'm sorry, the first thing that comes to my mind is there are actual professors on the right. Really? Oh my God, there's one?
It's just the one. It's just this guy.
I know, there's one. Like, where is he? I just want to know. I need to look him up now.
I died laughing when I read this, because it's so perfect. I mean, that's the thing.
Right.
It's like Europe is all trying to pretend that they have all this free speech and that they're democracies and that they're part of the Western value system. No, they're not.
Have you been to Germany?
They're falling so short of what the values are supposed to be. And this was the perfect representation.
Right.
Of that.
We just talked about Germany last week. They are effed, man.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as free speech anymore.
I know. And they're literally jailing people for social media stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It lives forever.
JD Vance, obviously a huge part of the dust up that took place in the Oval Office. So I've been waiting to hear directly from him, from his perspective about it. He was on with Sean Hannity last night talking about what that was like from his perspective. We've got a couple of clips from that. We'll just let them run together. Here it is.
The Oval Office, Friday. Yep. From your perspective. Yeah, great TV.
As the president said. Yeah, well, it's funny. So we have a 45-minute press conference, and the president normally does this. I mean, I've seen this now 3 or 4 times with foreign leaders, where he likes to bring the media in, likes to have a conversation, but answer questions with the press. As you know, he's very open with reporters. And what I noticed is that for the first 25, 30 or so minutes, he tried to sort of bend over backwards to be gracious and kind to Zelensky, even when Zelensky was kind of needling him, even when Zelensky was saying things that I thought were untrue. The president just tried to be diplomatic, right? I think that's his natural instinct in that situation. And then when it really went off the rails, of course, is when I asked, or you had a Polish journalist who asked a question, the president answered it, and then I answered it, and then something about my answer just really set Zelensky off. So then he came at me.
So you're blaming yourself.
Then I went back at him, and what I tried to do originally was actually try to diffuse the situation a little bit, because I'm like, we're having this meeting. Obviously, there are 100 television cameras here. Let's try to have this conversation in private. And then the president, as we kept on going back and forth, I tried again to say, well, maybe we should have this conversation in private. And the president was like, nope, actually, I don't want to have it in private anymore. I want to have this actual conversation in public for the American people to see. And I do think that there was just a certain sense of, there was a lack of respect. There was a certain sense of entitlement. And most importantly, look, we can look past all of that stuff, but the president has set a very clear goal for his administration. He wants the killing to stop. And I think that it's very important that President Zelensky and of course President Putin too, they've both got to come to the negotiating table, and that's ultimately where things broke apart. I really don't care what President Zelensky says about me or anybody else, but he showed a clear unwillingness to engage in the peace process that President Trump has said is the policy of the American people and of their president. That's the real breakdown. Is I think Zelensky wasn't yet there, and I think frankly now still isn't there, but I think he'll get there eventually. He has to.
I don't think he will.
You don't?
No, I don't, because I don't think he wants peace. Like just at his very core, I don't think that he wants it. And we talked about this yesterday too. He has such disdain. It's like he has PDS. He has Putin derangement syndrome. He's unwilling to make peace with Putin. It's a personal thing for him. He hates him so much. So I mean, he'll say, "Oh, I want peace. I want peace." I think he's full of crap. I don't think he's capable of it. He wants this to continue because he hates him so much. And there were a couple clips that proved that. He just doesn't want to do it. It's kind of like liberals and Trump. He hates Putin as much as liberals hate Trump. And so it's just personal for him. It's personal for him. And then in addition to that, he's getting paid. He's getting paid to keep the war going. He's getting paid and he has power, and he's in this position now where it's like he is loving us. He's loving where he's at. So why would he stop it? It's like a perfect situation for him. He went from loser comedian who played the piano with his pee-pee to now he's, you know what I mean? Now he's got everything he ever wanted. So why would he stop this? You know, because then everything will change for him if he does create peace. I don't know.
I hope that the pressure turns. I hope that Europe feels some pressure. Europe is making a lot of mistakes right now, and that's actually something else that JD talked to Sean about. Here's a little bit of that.
Well, Sean, I think our European friends, frankly, are being really they're doing a disservice to the Ukrainians because their own populations are saying, we're not going to fund this war indefinitely. The American people are saying, we don't want to fund the war indefinitely. So the only thing that is in the best interest of America, of Russia, of Ukraine, and of Europe is to bring this thing to a close. What happened, Sean, is you have Zelensky. He goes to Europe, and a lot of our European friends puff him up. They say, you know, you're a freedom fighter. You need to keep fighting forever. Well, fighting forever with what? With whose money, with whose ammunition, and with whose lives? The president is actually taking a much more realistic perspective and saying, this can't go on forever. We can't fund this thing forever. The Ukrainians can't fight forever. So let's bring this thing to a peaceful settlement.
We're broke. We can't do this anymore. We're broke.
And it's not our fight.
It isn't our fight. Yeah. And I'm so sick of our lawmakers acting as if it is. Like, take all the seats, Jasmine Crockett. It's not our fight, and it's not your country. Start thinking about the people in your country, in your district. Think about your constituents, because there are places where, you know, the people that she represents, there are places in her district that are falling apart. Maybe handle that first and not think about Ukraine. These people don't think about that, and we're paying their salaries. They need to start thinking about their people, not Ukraine.
Obviously, this is going to be a huge part of tonight's address, I'm sure.
Yes.
And so we will be watching. I will stay up late. Can't guarantee how long I'll stay up for the reaction, but I will be trying really hard to stay up for the entire thing. And, you know, this is actually my favorite platform for Trump because he has such great speechwriters and he's so good at State of the Union addresses. They've always been my favorite thing that he's done. So I'm super looking forward to it, even though it is so late.
I bet you Stephen Miller will have a hand in the speech.
Oh yeah. Tonight. Without question. All right, let's move on to some other things before we get to talks. And one of those things is that Melania is now doing some stuff. She is pushing a bill in Congress, or she's pushing for legislation that would protect victims of online like porn, like revenge porn type of things, or like having your image used without your consent for reasons of porn. And she thought that there would be massive bipartisan support for that, but naturally Democrats are losers. And so I think it was like just Amy Klobuchar and maybe one other person that was like, yeah, this is a good thing that we need to pay some attention to. But what do we think about Melania dressing like a dude a lot lately? How do we feel about this?
She's dressing very gangster. I think
very
it's
gangster.
I think it's a theme. I mean, it's okay. It's fine. She can pull it off. Like Hillary could not have done this.
No.
She could not
Oh my
have done
God.
it. But she can literally wear a paper bag and she's going to look good. You know what I mean?
But it's a lot. Like a lot of her attire lately has been very man suit kind of stuff.
I feel like it's orchestrated. Like there's some sort of a plan behind this because everything is PR-ified and there's a plan. Like she got with somebody, some sort of a stylist who said, "Hey, we're going to do this for like the next however many months, and this is how you're going to dress, and this is what you're going to do." So I feel like there's a plan behind this.
Well, she means business, and she gave a what's what to Democrats for not being more active in this bill. Here she is.
I was heartened to learn that Senator Cruz and Senator Klobuchar united to prioritize these fundamental matters. I must admit, however, I expected to see more Democrats, leaders with us here today, to address this serious issue.
Yeah.
You
would have expected more, but who cares about women, I guess. So
well, it's again, it's like it's the TDS thing, right? They're just not doing it because they hate Trump so much, and she's married
and her
to
by
Trump.
extension.
And
Yeah,
it's just like they're so stupid.
I know, just ridiculous. You guys have probably already heard this, but I thought I would mention it in case you haven't. There's this ridiculous mayor of Boston. Her name is Michelle Wu. And there was this complete psychopath lunatic who tried to stab a bunch of people in Boston. A heroic cop shot him dead. And this mayor went on television to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry for the family of the stabbing lunatic."
Oh my God.
I could not believe my eyes, but that was her first reaction, you guys. Here it is. If you haven't seen this clip, it's absolutely unbelievable.
My condolences and all of our thoughts are with the family of the individual whose life has been lost.
They're not.
My thoughts aren't with that. I don't know about you guys. My thoughts aren't with that person.
Nope. Not with that person at all.
Total lunatic.
Complete lunatic. And she is insane. For that being her reaction, it's proof of how insane these people are.
Right. FAFO, man. If you're gonna if you're gonna run around with a knife and start stabbing people, you're gonna die.
You should. You should die.
We're gonna put you down. Yeah.
And
like
then when there was criticism of her, she doubled down.
Express condolences along with our police commissioner and district attorney, because every loss of life is a horrible tragedy.
Really? Except for an abortion, right? Except for that. I don't understand liberals. I can't do it, Mock. I can't do it today.
I know.
I can't.
I know.
All right.
And then, you know how they're like, all of a sudden, I think it was on The View. We made fun of The View for being very, very open about their immigrant hate. Like they're now just starting to say Elon, for example, shouldn't be in the country. Like they're just saying the things that they used to accuse Republicans of thinking and feeling. And now they're just saying those things out loud.
Who's going to clean our toilets?
Right. But the way that they're just like openly saying he should not be here is kind of crazy. And especially this came from a Democrat representative by the name of Nydia Velasquez. She actually was telling him to go home. Like this was insane to hear. She was like, "What the hell are you doing here? Go back."
And what the hell are you doing here in America? Go back to South Africa.
Okay. All right.
But we're anti-immigrant.
Right.
Okay.
Well, it's kind of like billionaires. You know, there are good billionaires and bad billionaires. Apparently to them, there are good immigrants and bad immigrants. And the good immigrants are the liberal ones, right? Kind of like the good billionaires, like, what is his name? Fitzger? Is that his name? The fat guy?
Oh, Pritzker.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Prickster, the good billionaire.
He's fine. That's fine.
Because he's liberal, you guys. Right.
He's fine.
Right. They're there.
I'm going to show you a really dumb liberal doing a man on the street interview on a campus.
Can't wait.
You are going to be very startled by this person's voice. So I'm just preemptively letting you know, I'm warning you in advance.
Okay.
You're going to see a dude that's about to be interviewed. Do not be alarmed by his voice, okay? It's jarring.
President
Here it
Trump has
is.
been president now for almost a month. Do you think that he's making America worse, better?
Like, I heard allegedly he's like taking tax money from us, which I don't think they should do that. Like, it's tax money is technically for the military, not for themselves.
I completely agree with that. So there's rumors that President Trump is taking taxpayers' money and putting it in his own pocket, and how's he doing that?
With the help of Elon Musk.
Oh my God.
So are they like taking money that's allocated for certain programs and then putting it in their bank account?
Pretty much, yeah.
So shouldn't like some agencies be going after them for that?
Yeah.
And where can I maybe find out more about this happening?
So I saw like a news article talking about it, and I think it was like Fox or something, or it was like another news channel. It was like one of those.
Fox
No,
was
you
talking
didn't.
about
You didn't
President
see
Trump
that.
taking taxpayers' money and putting it in his pockets.
It was either Fox or another news channel.
That's
I
crazy.
don't really pay attention to what type of news. I just see it on the news, and you know,
You didn't see that. You didn't see that on Fox. And that was a woman, right? That was a woman that's trying to be a man. Because if that's a dude, his balls haven't dropped yet.
Well,
They
I mean,
haven't
there is
dropped.
a testosterone lowering problem in the country right now.
That's
I don't know if it's the chicken. I don't know what's going on.
He's the poster boy for that study of low T, because that is a problem. Wow. Somebody said he should go fight in Ukraine. He should.
Yeah, that's exactly the kind of person that would do well over there.
Totally do well.
All right, so now it's time for some fun stuff. We've got some great My Pillow talks for you. The first, you might say, would remind you of me, but it's one of those. It's one of those. You know that guy that is on probably TikTok and Instagram who says white women are not afraid of anything, and he's always making fun of women like me who want to pet all the things.
Pet all the bears.
I don't want to pet alligators. Let me just make that very clear.
Yeah, but
I
you're not
don't want-
afraid of them.
Well, I am afraid of them. Like, I will not ever go up to one, but I like seeing them from afar. I like being on my deck and being like, hi, alligator.
I don't. I want to shoot them from far away. That's the difference between you and me. Like, she has to prepare me to come visit her because she's like, oh yeah, you'll see them like from a distance. And I'm like, I want to shoot them from a distance.
They're not going to bother you from a distance. You
They
can just
bother
be
me.
like, oh, look.
They bother me just seeing them. They bother me. I don't like them, you guys.
Well,
I
this
don't like them.
woman is, this is a big ass alligator, you guys, and she is all about it. And so the guy that always makes fun of women like me, like her, he's got his little face there making fun, but here it is.
Here we go.
Look at that beauty right there.
Never stop.
He was walking. He just laid down. Isn't he beautiful? Look at him.
No, he's not beautiful.
Hi, baby. Oh, he's so cute.
Oh my God, he's not cute.
This mofo is huge. Look at that guy in the street who was recording him walking.
That's a safe distance.
No, you're not. No, you're staying in the car.
He's not gonna hurt me.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Stay in the car. No, that's not cat bait. That's not. No. She's serious.
Oh my God.
She's serious.
Yeah, they can run, Cowboy 742. They can run.
Over me.
They can run fast.
No, she know what she's doing. No, I'm not fighting an alligator.
Buddy, stop.
I'm not fighting an alligator.
You just pull my shoulder out.
She gets out of the car.
If her husband wasn't there,
Idiot.
I know.
she'll be right over there cuddling that alligator.
Idiot.
Hi, baby.
Oh my God.
So cute.
It's not cute. I mean, that
No,
that
it's
looks
only-
like a real sluggy, slow one, but they are fast. You can't be
Yeah.
fooled by the sleeping big ones.
It's only cute as shoes, a belt, and a purse. It's the only way they're
Or to
cute.
eat. They're tasty.
Yeah, they're cute fried. Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of creatures that can kill you, I have a bear montage, bear encounter
Oh,
montage,
okay.
and some of them are like a little bit scary, but some of them are just so cute. You guys, look.
Get out of here. Oh no.
Oh, He wants in the fridge. Oh my God. They're so cute.
Hey.
They are really cute, even though they eat you.
Oh, no.
Where are you going?
That's gonna leave a mark.
What the fuck?
Bye.
Oh my God.
Oh shit.
He's like, what?
Amazing.
So little.
Close the door. Good boy.
Good boy.
Good boy.
Oh my
They're
God.
sweet.
They
I would
really
pet
are.
a bear.
I know you would, and then you would promptly die. Don't do that. Don't do it. Somebody said LGB said that they're cute but stinky.
They probably are. I can't imagine
Yeah.
that they're not stinky. That's
Okay.
probably true.
It's good
Yeah.
to know.
It's kind of like tigers. Remember how I pet a tiger in Aruba and it was not fun? Like I don't want to pet a tiger again because they're not soft. Like I wanted them to be soft and furry, but they're not. They feel coarse and oily.
They're not
gross.
as soft as you wanted. Mhm.
They're not as soft
Okay.
as you'd think.
Okay.
Okay, this is so sweet. I don't know where this is, but there's a little boy going up to an ice cream, like an ice cream booth where you get ice cream, and the guy that's handing him the ice cream is playing a prank on him, and this little toddler loves it, is cracking up, and you cannot not smile at this giggle.
Oh my God, he's so cute.
This is funny fantastic. I said it.
Oh my gosh, I want to eat him up.
This is funny fantastic.
He is adorable.
Thank you.
Just love him.
You can get more.
That's a happy day.
Like ice cream. Where's your ice cream? Okay, thank you.
He's kind of cute.
Okay, finally.
There you go. Take it.
Oh, look at him. He wanted to high five.
The high five. God, he's precious. I
So
want to eat that kid's face. He's so cute.
Okay, last one, and that is you can get a dog to join you in a caper that is not even a caper. And that is what you're going to see with this guy who spots something on the floor and he needs help getting it, even though it's nothing.
Oh my God, shepherds. Theo would do that. Theo
Oh
will
my
kill,
God.
like if a bee comes in the house, it's like a hunt. Theo
Oh,
will kill
yeah.
it and then try to eat it, and he's shaking it, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. He's all about the bees, you guys.
We have a thank you that I don't even know how old it is.
Really?
It could be from Friday for all I know. But Colleen Wilson said, not a Trump cultist here, but I would like to note that his hair during the Zelensky meeting had a very pleasant golden white hue. His age is starting to show. It is about time, but it is showing well. That's
He
what
is
she
aging
said
well.
about Trump. Yeah,
is
he
aging.
definitely is.
He's aging
And
well.
man, his energy level, I can't. I
can't
don't know
keep
how
up.
he does it.
I know, right?
Over on Locals, Judy Flood says, welcome back, Mock. Thank you. It's good to be back. Osuki says, Starmer said he would have Americans in America arrested for social posts that he didn't agree with. Well, yesterday, Trump and Vance put an end to that.
Mhm.
Roth Lady Wright said, the name is Jennifer. Screw The View, period. I just cannot today. And then she also said, and my 11-year-old cracks up every time y'all say balls when I take her to school. Love my morning coffee with y'all.
Balls. Balls. Are we ready?
Now you.
Okay,
Yep.
Brian Brumley. My friend is on the Facebook staff at Coastal, I'm assuming that's Facebook, FB, Facebook staff at Coastal.
Yeah.
His neighborhood in Conway has ashes falling, but no.
Fire? Maybe FB, like fire
FB,
department?
What's FB staff? Okay, yeah, I don't think it's Facebook. FB staff at Coastal. His neighborhood in Conway has ashes falling, but no evacuations yet. Keep praying. Yeah, it definitely is not Facebook. Douche Elias, FAFO recovering crackhead Ford.
Oh, the Canadian guy. That's actually, it's his brother that was the crackhead, not him. Remember that we used to talk to a Canadian correspondent when we were on the radio?
Oh
what
my
was the brother's name?
Oh my God. I don't remember.
I can't.
We need
was
to
it
talk.
Rob?
I love that guy. That Canadian correspondent. He was a newspaper guy. He was hilarious.
He was so funny. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was great. Bethany Brandom, welcome back, Mock. My first thought as I watched the craziness on Friday was, damn, Mock is gone on Monday. Love you and take my money. Yeah, I know.
I thought the
that
same
too.
thing.
Aaron Erm, can we, for the love of God, tell Jasmine Crockett she did not take the same oath as President Trump? She's an idiot. It's true. Aaron Erm, Zelensky won't sign because he can't figure out how to skim money for himself. Like he took that $100 billion of U.S. aid. He took our money. Now you take mine. Thank you, Aaron Erm. Leslie Stoll, thank you for that super sticker. Uriel Gonzalez, it never occurred to me. I'll just ask people to give me money and I'll become a billionaire. Why didn't I think about this before?
We just got to know the right people.
Yeah, exactly.
Easy peasy.
Mm-hmm. Laura Kate Baker. Oh my God. Coda just scared me.
It
scared me. I wasn't expecting that, buddy. Laura Kate Baker, did Zelensky call JD a bitch in his language under his breath? That is what some people are saying. Yes, it's all over social right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yep. Guy, what a jerk. Andrew Howe. You know who Zelensky could suit up for and be clean shaven for? His puppet master Klaus Schwab at the World Economic Forum in 2024, but couldn't for his meeting with Trump to discuss ending this war. It's true.
Is that right?
He's worn suits before. He just refuses to do it at the White House because he's a punk. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because he has no respect for him or the American people.
And by the way, people who try to compare that to Elon not dressing up in the White House, I'm sorry, there is no comparison. Zelensky is a foreign world leader.
Exactly.
Being invited to the White House. Elon is an American citizen working in the government. That's totally different.
Elon's a tech nerd. He's supposed to dress like
that.
It's
so different. Oh my God.
He's supposed to wear weird t-shirts. I expect that from him. Wendy, Daddy Trump is taking away the insolent children's slush fund. Out of NATO, who, and put America first, her people are the tired ones. It's true. I'm tired. I'm tired of paying for everybody else's crap. Jason Decker, if the war ends and elections start back in Ukraine, Zelensky has to leave office by default, term limited at 5 years, and he has been there for 6. It's true. The gravy train ends for him. Like, what's he going to do? Go back to playing the piano with his junk? Exactly. Andrea Viola, Mayor Wu had a Christmas party excluding whites.
Of course,
I remember that. That's right. Dave Larson, thank you for that super sticker. Andrea Cleaver, could you even imagine Trump and Melania doing a magazine shoot if our country was at war like Zelensky and his wife did? So true, that perspective. Right? And it is so gross. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're back to normal, Mock.
We're back to normal. Mm-hmm. I'm going to need a nap today.
Right? Ooh. So much going on. You guys have a wonderful... Oh, I'm bringing it in right now. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Coda says hello in the background. Can you guys see Coda back
there?
And
that was great.
He's already taken it. Are you taking a nap, buddy? You're already taking a nap? Yeah, he's exhausted by everything. You guys have a wonderful Tuesday. Watch tonight if you can. If not, we'll cover it tomorrow and we will talk to you then. Bye, everybody.
Hello, beautiful people. This is the Chicks on the Right's Indian correspondent. Thank you for watching or listening. Be very sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on all of their delicious content. Okay, thank you. Come again.
Everybody.